I can't believe I started this project 9 months ago, but damn, it looks amazing. This is a GBBR SR-2M with a long travel bolt, with folding stock and grip, with a real bolt, with a long stroke, and all of this is just an AAP-01. I know the AAP-01 can be turned into crazy things, but I never thought I could make something this beautiful myself. The most surprising part is that this is only the second prototype, and somehow it works. Yes, sometimes it misfires or works unstable, but hey, 9 months of my work, they actually work. This is pretty much how I felt after the second test game with it. For 2 months, I've been working on it every day. I wake up, start a print, go to sleep. And again, every day. I've already spent about 10 kilos of plastic, hundreds of dollars, and most importantly, thousands of hours of my time. And when this thing shoots, you feel really happy. Honestly, I didn't sleep all night before the game, trying to fix more problems with it. One pointer, second pointer, 4 AM by the way, and I'm still kinda working to assemble it fully before the game, and the game is today, so I'm basically didn't sleep. Yeah. It's like a casino. Every time you believe that after new changes the problems will go away, but they stay and you keep making new versions again and again. That night I had problems with AAP-01 magazines. My Rui Max went in without effort, but AAP-01 Max kept getting stuck for some reason. Spoiler, the problem was not fixed overnight. The game day was one of my worst days in a long time. I first wanted to go to another game, but it got cancelled. But hey, I had to test the SR-2M to make this video for you, so I went to a field I already knew. I hadn't slept for 24 hours, so my reaction was really slow. It was especially hard to me to talk. Of course, my team was losing the whole game, and I couldn't even get a couple of frags. The best round, where I got behind the enemies with a shield and took one, then another, then more, and then respawn, was not recorded.
Kurde, nie zapisałem.
My kit broke at the end. And of course, when I was walking home, it started to rain. Of course, in the end of the day should be rain. Yeah, base. And as a cherry on top, this field is closing. It's especially sad because I started making the first AAP SR-2M only because I found out that electric pistols could shoot full auto at this field. Yes, for some reason Polish rules are very similar to German ones, but they are set not by the government, but by the organizers themselves. But that's a topic for another video. So yeah, now you probably understand why this video is not gameplay, but just my monologue. But let's talk about the SR-2M. What did I do in a month? First thing you see, a new grip. Honestly, this was the hardest part I made. I had a huge number of problems with it. At first, magazines went in with so much force that they got stuck. Then misfires and breakages started. Even in the game you can see that sometimes the mags didn't go in fully. But don't be surprised that now the grip is a different color. This is a new prototype where I fixed all these problems. Now magazines go in and out easily and work stable. Because the grip is thin and small, it feels very comfortable in the hand. There were also many problems with the barrel and the body. I was trying to fix them right before the game. I experimented a lot with print angles. For example, I printed the body at 45 degrees. This kind of printing needs special supports, but gives good quality and more strength. These supports also help reduce vibrations. I printed both stocks on the A1 printer. A1 is a bed slinger. You know, here is a part without special supports, and here with them. Completely different result. I tried to make custom springs with a retainer so they wouldn't fly apart, but this idea didn't work with AAP-01 springs. They're too thin, so I dropped it. I had doubts about the magazine replicas. I was afraid that because of their strange shape they would be uncomfortable to carry in a plate carrier. But I played a game and didn't feel any discomfort at all. Good. I worked a lot on long springs and a new bolt shape to increase its travel. By the way, in the game I used the maximum bolt travel. Some people were disappointed that there's no fire mode switching like in the original SR-2M. Well, there is a fire selector, but it's fake. The real one is hidden under the bolt. But to make it easier, I changed its design a bit. Now there are fire mode markings on the body and the selector itself is bigger. Now you can switch it without pulling the bolt back. After some time, I even learned to do it on the move. In my free time from printing, there wasn't much. I met a replica of the KP-SR2 Cobra Red Dot. You remember? I'm also planning to make a special collimator sight for the SR2. The sight has a removable hood, like the original, but because of the angle it blocks part of the view. And in one game about cheaters and realism, you can also put it on. But why? In the first versions, the sight had adjustment knobs. In the original, they used to adjust the dot, but in Airsoft, they were just decorative. Since they had no real use in Airsoft, I made them integrated. I'm also working on realistic locking, but I'm not sure if it will work in Airsoft. I also just changed the shape of dozens of elements. The grip ledge, added different pins, often changed separate parts. The second version I printed mostly from PLA+. I really like that it's not as shiny as PG. To imitate metal, I also used PLA silk. The parts that are plastic in the original I printed from PLA matte. I also added a texture similar to the original fuzzy skin. Unfortunately, my attempts to make the texture in advance were not successful yet. Already while making this video, I made some amount of adjustments and just look how nice it is. Just, oh my god, I love it. And of course, polishing. Polishing. It takes the most time. Making something just work is only half of the job. Then you improve, change, check, test, improve again, change again, print again. You know, my printers were running 24/7. Sometimes I even slept with them on. And don't believe the ads. 3D printers are not quiet at all. It was especially bad during the heat, when the temperature in Poland was higher than in Egypt. Now imagine sitting in a room with two hot, noisy printers for days. It was like... And honestly, it's like an addiction, because you keep working on the SR-2M anyway. You want to finish it on time, but it keeps breaking, and you check, test, print, test, change, print, test again, change again, print again. I literally spent several gas cans just testing the grip. Not even talking about tens of kilos of plastic, hundreds of hours of development and printing. And then you come back from a game and realize you have to test and print again. You delay making videos, other projects, you stop touching grass. And honestly, after 2 years working on the SR-2M, I'm a bit tired. 60%. Only 3 hours left. Are you fucking serious? I started the first SR-2M as a project just to play with a shield, and now for 2 years I've been making different versions of it, and over time I just started to get tired of it, because it can go on forever. You can polish it for months more, but you don't want to make trash, so you keep sitting and printing. I've already spent tens of kilos of plastic, hundreds of dollars and thousands of hours, but it's still in development, and this is just a kit for the AAP-01, not even some big GBBR project, like, you know. And then you just sit and think, why all of this?